Hey, everybody. Happy Friday and happy one day after St. Patrick's Day. I'm Gaye Ann Bruno, the host of Between the Sheets podcast. Thank you for joining us. We're here the first and third Friday of every month here on the United Broadcasting Network. You can follow me on Instagram, QTEBrat, and follow our YouTube page, Between the Sheets with Gaye Ann Bruno. Don't forget, this is a call-in show. I don't know why you people don't call in. Are you scared? We don't bite unless you ask. But please call us at 323-524-2599. We have a wonderful, my girls are in the house, and we have an amazing guest joining us. We'll start with the chick to my left.
Hello, everybody. I'm Roxanne Rosen. Thank you so much for joining in again. Lovely to see you all.
And then we have Shane.
Hi, everyone. I'm so glad to be here.
And then we have Cara Noble.
Good evening, everybody. Kari here.
And then we have yet again Sheena Metal and her pussy.
Hi, everybody. I'm Sheena, and this is my pussy.
And then, of course, we have Tony in the house. Thank you, Tony, for running the boards for us. Thank you. And we have a wonderful guest tonight. Her name is CJ Benkert. No, yes, maybe? Did I say it right?
Yes, you said it right.
And she is joining us from Pura Vida.
Pura Vida.
Oh, so you say it the
Wellness.
white people way. Pura Vida. It's Pura Vida.
It's
¿Cómo no?
Pura Vida.
Pura Vida, docón. Ay, Dios mío. I am so obsessed. I really don't love reality TV, but I am obsessed with the Real Housewives of Miami. I mean, half of them are Cuban, and my favorite is this one called Marisol, and she's very Cuban, and her whole thing is, ay, Dios mío, por favor, everything. So I'm just in that mood right now.
That sounds hot.
What,
I think I need to start watching them.
Ay, Dios mío, por favor.
No, you might like it. It'll be terrible.
It'll be terrible, but it's just, I mean, and the thing is that, like, they're best, like, they're rich, okay, so the whole premise is we all know what they are. So they're, like, wealthy beyond whatever, and they have nothing really to do. I mean, they work, but they don't really work, but they don't need to work, but they fight like cats and dogs, and they call themselves, like, best friends. I swear, if I were to do that on a daily basis with people, I would lose my freaking mind. I mean, women, it's just women.
Do they make up
I
and
don't
kind of talk
know.
spirituality a little bit and say, you know, I realize that I did that wrong, and, you know, I promise next time to approach it differently. Do they learn? Do they talk in that way at all?
Well, they kind of do, you know, but it's all about the drama, and then it's like, you know, later on they'll apologize. But still, it's just shocking. Like,
Can you imagine a show that is just completely mature? It's like a reality show where everybody's like, thank you for bringing that to my attention. I will really look at myself now.
That would be boring,
You know,
right?
I guess I was triggered, you know? Like, can you imagine?
Well, I mean, this show kind of does, and obviously no TV producer's calling me to put it on, but we're very popular on the airwaves. But anyway, so CJ, tell us a little about yourself. Where are you from? Just, how, you know, what the company is, just start us off, please.
Okay. So I'm Dr. CJ Benkert with Pura Vida Wellness, and I started off in chiropractic almost 30 years ago now. And 8 years ago, I found my own health failing, and I went on this health and nutrition journey. And so for the last 8 years, I've been taking people through my Pura Vida transformation system, getting their health back and teaching people how to eat.
So tell us a little about the program then.
Okay. So it's really based on inside-out healing, cellular healing, fat burning, getting the body into a ketosis state so that we can clean out the cells, decrease inflammation, and just teach people how to be healthy again, a lifestyle change.
And what does that entail?
Well, I do a 12-month coaching program. So people come in and we test them and we customize their program for them. And we find out what the best foods are for them. And for the first 40 days, we actually put them into a fasting mimicking state. So they're going to get all the same benefits in their body as if they were water fasting, but they're getting to eat healthy, real food, proteins, vegetables, and fruits for those 40 days.
So where were you from?
Huntington Beach. I was born in Van Nuys, but I grew up in Huntington Beach.
And let's see.
I want to know
They
what
call
kind
that
of
Surf
testing.
City, right?
Is it Surf City? No.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Surf City, USA.
Yeah.
Oh.
Or
I
if
grew
you
up
live,
in Huntington Beach, just so
Okay.
everyone knows.
Yay! So if you're from
Hey.
I
Santa
grew up in
Cruz,
Orange County, Newport.
Nice.
I also
Okay.
grew up in Huntington Beach. I'm in Huntington Beach right now.
Oh, sweet. Yeah.
Yay!
That's my hometown. So unless you're from Santa Cruz, and then they have a war on who is the true surf city. Huntington Beach and Santa Cruz is
Huntington
back
all
and forth.
the way.
Wow.
Santa Cruz
Absolutely.
was not in the Beach Boys songs.
I agree.
That's true. So I want to know how you test, because that's that
Yes.
thing. What's that thing where you push your arm down?
Interesting. So I'm so glad you brought that up, because that's muscle testing. And when I practiced chiropractic, I did a lot of muscle testing, but I found it was very subjective. So the computerized technology that we utilize is called Zyto.com, Z-Y-T-O, and it's a objective scientific way of muscle testing. And in a 20-minute period, we're able to measure 2,800 biomarkers on that person using resonant frequency and galvanic skin resistance, which is the same technology that they use for the lie detector test. So we ask your body, what's going on? What do you want? What do you need? What foods are the best? What emotions are triggering you? What things do you need to detox from? So it's really inclusive and extensive, and just very customized for each person.
You know,
What was this arm thing? What is this arm?
Muscle testing.
Well, she was just duplicating muscle testing. This is a computerized muscle test. So there's-
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't know.
yeah.
I really love that you said that the muscle testing this way is subjective. I cannot tell you how many times in my life where I've gone through experiences and I am watching others, or it's being done to me or be done to others. And I'm like, that is so subjective, because sometimes it can go down or go down like halfway. And how are you supposed to read that when it goes down halfway? So exactly how does that, is it Zyto? How does that work then?
It uses resonant frequency to mimic different foods and emotions and toxins. So with galvanic skin resistance, it's a hand cradle, and it touches your hand, but it could be like with an infant, you could actually touch them like on their stomach, as long as it's touching the skin. So we get an energetic start. So we see where the body is first energetically, a baseline, so to speak. And then we send in different resonant frequency messages that would be the same as estrogen, apples, because everything has its own vibration. We've tested it. Everything has a very specific frequency, a very specific hertz. And so we send in the frequency of apples, the frequency of hate, the frequency of plastics. And then we look to see how the body responds, and it's either biologically favorable or it's biologically unfavorable. And based on those responses, the software analyzes all those datas. You know, there's millions of datas happening each second, and it's able to actually print out a food list, what organs need to be supported, what nutrients the body needs. And so it's just very energetic. It's kind of like Deepak Chopra, Einstein. You know, it's all about energetic medicine. You know, Western medicine now is based on, you know, old science. You know, it's based on, plutonics, where we're just looking at, you know, two dimension. You know, something drops and it falls. But we're not looking at things that we can't see. And we know that there's so much going on that we can't see. I mean, how many times have you thought of a friend and then they call you? There's energy. You know,
Right.
there's waves. There's.
But how do you
frequency.
measure energy on a machine? I just am curious.
Yeah.
And then you get a negative reading to something like an apple or hate, does that mean that you're allergic to the food? Or does it just mean it doesn't sit well with your system?
Yeah, it just means it doesn't sit well. It's just not biologically cohesive. So it's very difficult to explain the testing. And if you go to Zyto.com, they have lots of videos and ways to explain it. I know when I first learned of the technology, I was very skeptical. Like, what? You know, you put your hand on here and it tells you, you know, what are the best foods and nutrients. But I just know, you know, 8 years and, you know, taking 3,000 people through this program, that it works. People get great results, and I love it because it's holistic. You know, I don't
That's
have
cool.
to, you know, give medicines or stimulants or you know, drugs. I can just work with the body instead of against the body.
Well, I mean, I know in a couple of our conversations, you know, we were talking that I said to you, I hate the word diet. To me, the word diet is negative, because for me, it means withholding. And
Right.
depriving. So, I mean, I was a size 16 a long time ago, and, I did all the diets, the fad diets, this diets, and it just either wasn't sticking or wasn't working. And then I started to read, and realize, you know what? It's not about starvation. It's not about denying you. It's because, to me, it's all in here. So if you sit here and say, I want ice cream, well, you can have ice cream, because otherwise, then if you deny yourself, then when you can have ice cream, you'll eat the whole frickin' pint. So if you want ice cream, it's a matter of what I used to do is take like a teaspoon of ice cream and just pretty much suck on it, the whole and savor it because I was having those neurons or whatever the hell they are, sort of like taking it in. It's okay to do it, so not guilt tripping, because with diets, guilt trip. And if you don't reach that goal weight and you don't reach that, then for me, psychologically, you're setting yourself up for failure. And it's like, well, I'm not freaking losing weight. I was supposed to lose 5 pounds. Screw it. I'm not going to do this diet. It sucks. And we talked about like the different diets, like Slim Fast and Weight Watchers and other. Why do you, knowing your protocol, why do you think those things work or don't work?
I think they work for what they are looking to get out of them, but it doesn't work long term because most diets are low calorie and they're slowing your metabolism down, and those diets are going to make you older metabolically when you're done. So you might lose some weight, but you're not fat burning. You're not losing the right kind of weight. Your water's going down. You're losing some muscle. Yes, you're losing some fat, but in my program, we favor you towards fat burning, and we're hydrating you with minerals and nutrients and herbs so that you're actually gaining healthy water and only losing body fat. So most diets, you're right, don't work because you're starving the body, you're forcing it into the starvation mode, you lose weight, you don't look the healthiest when you're done, and your metabolism, you're actually older inside when you're done. Your metabolism has slowed down.
Now explain that, because you were talking about like the metabolic age, like when we were talking, Gaye Ann, how old are you? Okay, I'm 58. Okay, your energy, blah 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 blah. But how old do you metabolically feel, or whatever you were saying? I can't remember. Yeah. But I said, well, I'm 58. But energy level, I'm at like a 28, 29, 30-year-old, as you can attest, but talking to me a couple of times. And
yeah, she is.
So it's like, but I want my body to match my energy. So could you explain that whole metabolic age thingy?
So metabolic age is based on a lot of different biomarkers, specifically cellular water percentage, muscle mass, body fat, and visceral fat. And so when you go on a diet, you're going to lose healthy water. Your cells aren't going to be very healthy. You're going to lose some muscle. And yes, you might have lost some weight, but your metabolic age is actually older. If you lose weight the right way and you hydrate your cells with minerals, and it's all about, my entire program comes down to 2 things: sugar burning versus fat burning, and insulin resistance. So Americans are insulin resistant. Over 80% of us are insulin resistant, which means we couldn't burn fat for fuel if our life depended on it. But I always like to say that our life does depend on burning fat for fuel, because when you're a sugar burner and you're stuck in sugar burning and you're releasing insulin, you're going to get Alzheimer's, you're going to end up with diabetes, you're going to die earlier. It's the aging inflammatory path. If your journey is long life, being lean, having a healthy brain, you want to be a fat burner. But most Americans don't even know what that means. They've never even heard that, and they're stuck in sugar burning.
So, for example, God, what was I just going to say? Like one tip, you had said to me one thing is, don't eat past a certain time. And I said, that's one thing. Again, learning and reading for myself, I'm trying to eat whatever I can. It's portion control. It's eating throughout the day. You said, well, it's good that you have that. So what should you be doing? Like if you wake up, is it snacks? I mean, what do you think is the best way? We're not talking about what we're putting in our mouth, but let's say it's healthy. What sort of a day on your program look like?
So I really strongly advocate intermittent fasting. There's so many studies that show that our ancestors feasted and famined. And we didn't have 7-Elevens in every corner and fast food restaurants in every corner to be able to eat every few hours. And we have just been sold a bill of goods for the last 50, 60 years, especially in the United States and the Western way of living, that it's all about you got to eat every 2 hours and you wake up and the biggest,
Big
meal of the day. And
breakfast,
that's
right.
not true, because that was all started with a lot of these food companies, Kellogg's and different companies. They wanted to sell their products.
Frosted Flakes.
Yeah. So
They are good.
I have an ad from like the 30s before, like right when Kellogg's was starting, and it said, most Americans are intermittent fasting. They're only eating, during a 6 to 8 hour window. It's not healthy. You should be starting your day with a big breakfast of cereal and milk and fruit. So we used to intermittent fast. We used to have our big meal in the middle of the day, very small little breakfast, the continental breakfast in Europe that we're so familiar with, and then a smaller meal at night. So I love intermittent fasting. It works, but you don't ever want to do anything the same every single day. It's all about diet variation and going back and doing what our ancestors did. When there was lots of food around, we ate a lot of food and we would store a lot of fat, but then there'd be months with no food. And so we survived, and we're all here today speaking to each other because our ancestors were really good at, and very metabolically flexible and able to go back and forth between fat storage, sugar burning, and fat burning.
So what exactly is in your fasting? What does fasting look like?
There's all kinds of different fasting. There's water fasting. There's what we call time-restricted eating, which is intermittent fasting, which is where you eat most of your foods in a 6 to 8 hour window. There's broth fasting, juice fasting. I call it a phone fast, where you turn your phone off for the day and don't.
How about the opposite of that, where you're on your phone all the time? It's so funny because I keep
It's a phone feast.
I keep telling you, I keep doing this, right? I keep doing this check, okay? I keep going, and I'm like, I still have muscles, and it's because I'm on the phone so much. It's this action that does constantly throughout the day.
So which one of your fasts has chocolate in it?
All of them. Chocolate's a very actually healthy food.
But dark chocolate.
Dark chocolate, the lower sugar is better, higher percentage of cacao. We have lots of chocolates that we advocate in our program sweetened with stevia, which is a natural herb sweetener. They're delicious. Chocolate releases serotonin. That's why most of us, have craved chocolate throughout the years during different times of our cycle. It helps to regulate our hormones, and chocolate's a very healthy, good food.
Hey, everybody, you're looking at Between the Sheets, or you're watching Between the Sheets here in the United Broadcasting Network. Please call us 323-524-2599. 323-524-2599. Hey, I have a question. So you mentioned stevia. Now, on the market, we have the crap. We have Splenda, Sweet and Low, Saccharin, and Equal.
And Truvia.
Well,
Truvia, yes, I've heard of that
Truvia,
one.
and then there's stevia, then there's monk something. So what if you have to use sugar, what do you recommend? Like, out of the cornucopia of choices out there.
Stevia, organic stevia.
But it has a little bit of an aftertaste.
Not all brands do.
Oh,
You just
okay.
have to go with some different brands. We have a really nice brand that we carry in our office that is sweet. There's no aftertaste, because I know that aftertaste.
I don't
you're
like
talking-
it.
Yeah, I don't like most stevias either. So
I like Truvia.
Truvia is good, but there's a couple of other sweeteners in Truvia. It's not pure stevia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Huh. So what does like you were talking about herbs. I mean, so when someone joins your program, based on that thing and the other testing things you do, do you then prescribe? I know you're not a doctor, but I mean, we kind of are. But
Well, I'm a doctor.
you are
but
a doctor,
chiropractic
a chiropractic physician. So based on all those numbers and all that stuff, that's where you give someone the program of this. You take this herb, or you take this vitamin or this mineral. Is that sort of how it works?
Well, the mineral and vitamin component is a very small part of it. The biggest part of it is the foods that you're eating and the timing that you're eating the foods. The first 40 days of my program, and we have lots of different stages that we take people through, we actually take all oils and fats out of your diet to put you in a fasting mimicking state, which is very, very powerful. You're eating, but you're not eating any oils and fats. You're taking lots of minerals and healthy nutrients to support the 2 or 3 organs that showed up on the testing. And you get into this deep, intensive fat burning, cleansing, as if you were water fasting, but you're still eating.
So what are some of your success stories?
Oh my goodness. So I've had, hundreds of diabetics within a couple of weeks completely off all medication. I just released a book ebook version, and we have the print book coming out April 2nd. And the first chapter of my book is one of my clients who was on at least 8 different medications, stage 3 kidney failure, high blood pressure, heart medicine, full-blown diabetic. She was on 50 to 100 units of insulin a day, and literally within the first 40 days of my program, completely off of everything. Now, when I first started this, it was my own health journey 8 years ago. My own health was failing, and I started experimenting with these different ways of eating. And then I started taking my chiropractic patients through the program, and then people were getting such amazing results. I had already been burnt out on the structural and the physical part of chiropractic, so my practice was already up for sale. And I just started doing all nutritional work. I was blown away at these diabetics, having it reversed. And that's why my first book is on.
What's the name of your book?
It is called The Diabetic Weight Loss Solution.
On Amazon.
It's on Amazon. But I do like to say with a caveat that you could put, all diseases, if we're really going to get to the nitty gritty of it, most diseases, especially Western medicine diseases that plague us, have the same commonality.
Like autoimmune diseases?
Autoimmune, inflammation, strokes, dementia, Alzheimer's. It's all, it's mostly lifestyle and diet based and insulin based.
Now, your program, it's not plant-based, is it?
No, it's not.
Well, then how do you do it then? The first 40 days, no oils and fats. That would be no meat then?
We do meat, but we choose lean meats. So we test your body with all the different lean meats.
Okay.
So, grass-fed beef is organic and pasture-raised as possible. Hey, puppy.
Who's got the puppy?
That's a loud puppy.
Whose puppy?
Mine.
Oh, okay.
Animals.
A pussy and a puppy. A pussy and a puppy. Okay.
I just got rid of the pussy, and now the puppies are going crazy. So they might be going crazy for my pussy. That
So we're not going to do salmon. That's a great healthy meat.
Ew.
Because it's so greasy.
Because it's so fatty.
And I don't. So
I love salmon.
like I hate fish.
You don't have to do
love
fish.
fish.
Okay.
There'll
That's
be
great.
maybe 30
yeah, I
different.
love fish too.
Yeah, there'll be like 30 different proteins that'll show up on the list. And there are a lot of seafood. There's chicken. There's lamb, beef.
But can someone be, if let's say
Yes.
someone is a vegan or a
Yes.
vegetarian, can they adapt to your program?
100%. Yeah. So we have a vegetarian list of protein-rich foods that they can eat in place of those animal-based proteins.
So no butter and no salad dressing of any sort in that.
Not just for those
Soups.
first 40 though.
If-
Soups?
Can I ask a question, CJ?
No.
Fine.
I'm just kidding.
Don't forget everything that we are going to talk about. Mara will always say, "Oh yeah, I was in 5th grade." So just so you know, she'll make you feel really old because no matter what we reflect on, she'll just remind you she was in 5th grade.
Well, I mean, whatever. I am 47, so I'm not
Just a
like I'm a
baby.
kid or anything. But okay, so I notice if I take oil, like olive oil or avocado or almonds off my diet, I get very shaky. Is that something that, but like on your plan that you would not allow those kind of good fatties, good fatties?
Fatty.
Good fatties.
I kind of like that.
So those are really good fats for most of the time. But during those first 40 days, you won't be shaky because we use different minerals and plant-based nutraceuticals to actually trigger your body into fat burning. So when you're burning fat for fuel, you're going to average a half a pound to a full pound of fat every single day on my program. Men, a full pound.
Of course.
Women, a half
Those
a pound.
bastards.
Yeah.
How come? I mean, seriously, why do men burn?
Because of the hormone difference.
Damn them.
They have
don't
more
have
muscle.
They have more muscle.
More
They have
muscle.
more testosterone, more human growth hormone. And
But
we
there are
have more
some women that
estrogen.
have a lot of testosterone. I'd like to test it on them.
There are.
You usually date them, Mara, but that's okay.
I do. But I'm just wondering, like, how much of when you're on that 40-day program, what I didn't realize
Bless
there
you.
were things like plants and minerals that could help you combat that shakiness that
Yes.
would substitute what the healthy fats would do. That's interesting.
Well, the shakiness is there because your body isn't favoring fat burning. So even if you're healthy and eating healthy fats, you're probably not like a true, like your mitochondria, which are the little organelles in the cell that either use sugar or fat for fuel. They're probably not very adaptable to burning fat. So when we take all fat and oil out, you're still getting fats, but you're going in and you're eating up all that fat in your body that your body doesn't want. And that's why you lose weight so well the healthy way. You're burning fat, you're getting extra energy, you're actually having a more stable glucose than when you were eating the healthy fats before.
So your women would lose in the first 40 days, if you're saying a half a pound a day, what is that? Like 15 pounds?
20, 25 is my average.
In
And
40 days?
And
40 days.
I've had
That's
women,
amazing.
and I've had women lose 30 or 40.
But
Whoa.
but that's within that first period, right?
Yes.
So
So
then,
I'm sold.
but you're because me too. You don't have any idea.
signing up
You know
right
what?
now.
When I had
I get her first.
No, I called her first. I found her. And the first thing I said, she says, "What do you want?" I said, "I want to be skinny." I swear to God. She goes, "Don't you want to be healthy?" Yeah, but I want to be skinny.
Okay, wait. So hang on a minute. As we age, and I'm not saying my age, even though my birthday's Monday. As we age,
She's-
don't even say it. I'm gonna kill you. Don't even say it. Anyways,
I'm not saying it.
Don't even mimic anything. Okay, no. So here we go. Why is it as we age and get older each decade, the belly fat for women I haven't been able to lose, and usually I can lose weight like this.
Not anymore.
Once I hit my 40s, basically, it's the same 10 pounds I cannot get off, and it's right around the belly.
The same 10
But-
pounds.
I know. Oh, hey, Sheena, cry me a river. Cry me a river. Those freaking 10 pounds. You're obese. I don't even know how you walk the street with your head held high.
I have to put butter through the doorways to squeeze me through
You
sometimes.
need
like,
to get you need to
seriously.
get like that thing in your stomach, that sleeve. You're so horrible.
I know. But it's
She
like,
has a right. Roxanne has a right to say that those extra belly pounds are they're
Yeah.
stubborn.
yeah, but
So-
it's always
Yeah,
the last
it's
10
true.
pounds that all the women say are like, it's the hardest to lose. What's causing that?
Well, as we get older, it's the change in hormones.
Bastards.
Because as we go through menopause and the estrogen and progesterone drops, then the adrenals kick in and you get that belly fat, that cortisol-based belly fat. But you can change that. You can increase the sensitivity of the hormones to the body by going through that fat burning and getting those cells healthier. Because where do hormones operate? On hormone receptors on every cell in the body. So if you can clean out the receptors and get them sensitive again, then you can get those last 10 pounds off.
And that's
with
something
the-
we could do together with your program.
And that's
Okay,
with
that's
what
good.
you were just talking about, the 40 days.
But your
Yes.
program is a
Okay.
year-long program.
Yeah, I do a 12-month coaching program because when I first started this program 8 years ago, 40 days people lose the weight, but I wanted a lifetime transformation, a permanent lifestyle change. And that's why I call it, the Pura Vida, the Pura Vida transformation system, because I want people to have a long-term change. I want to teach people how to eat. I want to teach people the truth about health. I'm tired of watching people die of cancer and diabetes, and we're struggling and we're suffering as a society, more so today than ever before. And there needs to be more people that are willing to just stand up and speak the truth, that if we would just stop eating the way that we eat, and that we would stop looking at that 1980 food pyramid that we're still following that says we're supposed to be eating pasta and rice and breads. And that's what created the problem. We're just eating way too many processed food, unhealthy oils, and sugars and carbs.
Because, I cook. I'm a really good cook. So you're saying, like, no oil. No oils, no butter. So
So just for the first
But how do
40,
you
so-
even cook without it?
Well, you just use like a ceramic pan that doesn't stick. You can use broth. You can use coconut aminos. We have all of these sauces and dressings that we sell in our clinic that don't have oil, that don't have sugar, that you can cook with. You can put in the salads. But you need to remember that's just the first 40 days. Then we bring in healthy fats. Then we teach you diet variation. We teach you intermittent fasting. I take people through 5-day water fasts. We do,
Which is exactly what?
where you're only drinking water for 5 days.
Yeah, there's
And you
no
know
way I
what?
could
And
do
I
that.
would-
That's what all
and
my
I'm gonna tell you,
clients say
I
when they
would-
first come in.
Do you know, not even on your program, I cannot drink water. So I would absolutely starve.
What do you mean you can't drink it?
I don't like the way, it's like, it has no
Do you
taste.
want to
You
know
don't like
why?
the way
Because
water
you need
tastes?
this one. This is the best
wouldn't
water on
help
the
Gaye Ann.
market.
Huh?
Best
Wow.
water on the
That's
market.
still water. It wouldn't. That's what I drink too, Roxanne. But
Mm-hmm.
I think for you, Gaye Ann, you should put some, lemon or something natural in your water.
Yeah,
for taste.
cucumbers,
I
oranges,
have a hard
lemons,
time drinking
put it
water,
in there.
even as a kid.
We have a-
And
we
the
have a-
interesting
So-
thing about
we have-
thing about water is the more you drink, the more you want.
Yeah, very true.
If you
Sheena.
can just push yourself past
Yep.
that phase,
Yeah.
then you'll start wanting it all the time. I learned that when I had a kidney stone in my early 30s, and
weird.
which was last year because
Of course.
fifth grade then.
Of course, yes.
And I drank just an unbelievable amount of water for like 6 weeks because I was trying to get rid of this kidney stone, and it stuck. And as long as I keep drinking, I want it all the time. So I just
Me
keep
too.
ice water by me, and I'll just suck it down all day long.
Okay, so
Lovely.
wait, I have a question for you, Sheena.
Uh-huh.
Your kidney stone that you were trying to get rid of, was it passing or was it just in there? Because I
Oh.
have 4, and my doctor said I could die with them or they could
Sure.
pass. So I'm hoping
Well,
I'm going to
it was
die
it was
with them.
Passing, but it
Okay.
was passing slowly.
Oh.
And it got, your not to get too medical, but your ureters that connect your kidneys and your bladder are like half the size of your urethra. So they're pretty tiny. So it has to go all the way down your back to get to your bladder.
Oh,
So it took a
goodness
while, and then
It hurts
off, and
too. I
nothing.
hear it hurts, kidney stones as
It
they're
hurts.
passing.
It's unbelievable. And as it goes through, it's like a little stone. So sometimes it tears up the inside of the ureters,
Nice.
and then you get a kidney infection. So I don't quite know when it passed. I just know the entire ordeal was 6 weeks. So I literally had a big thing of ice water, and I would pace, because when I don't feel good, I pace. I would pace up and down the wall, up and down the hallway, and drink this water. And when I saw my doctor, he said, "Well, keep it up, because the more you drink, the more you want." And it
Yes.
sounds crazy, although people certainly do that with alcohol.
Only after
I
2
just got in
glasses.
the habit of it, and now I want it all the time. And I've been doing intermittent fasting since August, and I've lost 75 pounds doing it.
Oh, congratulations.
I gotta tell you, I love it. I love the clarity of not eating at night from a spiritual perspective. It's amazing to be that clear for so much of the day, because all that stuff weighs us down, right? CJ, all that stuff
Yes.
all those heavy foods and stuff, especially at night, it weighs us down, and it doesn't just weigh us down physically. It also weighs us down emotionally, and then it weighs us down spiritually, because all our systems kind of work together.
Do you not have food at night ever, or like what time do you stop doing it, eating?
I try to stop by 6.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
My
That's great,
absolute
yeah.
cutoff is 7.
Seven?
Sometimes
Right,
I'm
yeah.
out with people and I can't avoid it. And
Yeah.
then I don't really start eating again until around, late morning, early afternoon.
And what time do you stop drinking the margaritas?
Never. That's not food.
That's in the baby bottle.
I never stop doing the cocaine. I do that even at night.
Ecstasy, a little bit of Molly.
Oh, yeah.
Coke helps a lot with your diet,
Right, exactly. Right. My diet is
Speeds up the
basically
metabolism.
fasting and meth.
Do you bring, and I'm going to guess this is a yes, but do you bring any sort of spirituality into your program? And can you explain how you do that?
Well, 8 years ago, when I was lost and failing in my health and depressed and inflamed and almost 200 pounds.
You were 200.
Mhm.
Oh, I mean, she's very tall, but that's still a lot, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So definitely when you clean your body out physically and you get the inflammation down and you work with the circadian rhythms, when the sun goes down, the body's digestive system shuts down. So you really do want to stop eating there's cycles to life. Everything's ups and downs and cycles. So I forgot the question.
That's okay. Spirituality, how does it integrate it into your program?
Huge. So I developed what I call my 12 core concepts, and it's spirit, heart, mind, and body. And then I have other concepts, fasting and food and grounding. So spirit's the top. it's all about spirit. I believe that we are spiritual beings living in this temporary physical body, and
Amen.
how you eat and how you treat people and how you think and how you love has everything to do with your spiritual health, and that's what's going to last forever is our spiritual beings, not our physical beings. So definitely related.
Yeah, I wanted to tell you, there have been times in my life where I've been on different weight loss fitness plans, and one that I did that I swear by is Jackie Warner's. Do you know Jackie Warner?
No, I haven't heard of Jackie Warner.
Oh, okay. She wrote a book. She wrote a series of books, and she's a lesbian trainer. But the thing
She
is,
thought she was cute too.
I didn't. No,
Everyone
I didn't.
did.
No, I you know
No,
I used to hang out with her.
she's
We used to have
hot.
dinner a few times. She's a very nice person.
Yeah, well, the thing is I loved how I felt, mostly because I was drinking tons and tons of water and water with lemon. My hair was beautiful. My skin was gorgeous. I had a lot of energy, but I could only maintain that lifestyle for about a year. And then I started to want to, because I was already at my goal weight. So I started eating more of the little cheat meals, because her plan is, eat clean throughout the week, and then you can have 2 cheat meals on the weekend.
Yeah.
But I can't maintain a lifestyle like that. I started to get cravings, and then I just put the weight back on, and I don't know. I don't know how. Do you have any words you could tell us about maintaining
Yes.
your lifestyle program?
It's all about maintaining variation and just throwing different things at the body. So, people talk about, keto, and it works so well for me, but then after a certain amount of time, you're going to plateau, because especially females, we need healthy carbs for hormone building. So it's all
I
about,
didn't know there were any healthy carbs.
yes, yams and pinto beans and potatoes
Avocados.
and avocado. Well, that's a fat mostly, but some carbs. Citrus fruits, tropical fruits, those are all very hormone building foods. So it's all about switching it up. So I advocate.
Yeah, that's what I didn't do on that.
Yeah,
on those
most
diets.
people
With
don't. They just-
Jackie's, it was you eat chicken, you eat you eat very clean, and then you can have a couple cheat meals on the weekend.
No.
But I couldn't take the same routine, the same food all the time.
And it's not healthy, and it's not how our ancestors
No,
lived.
I mean I used to, because when I lived alone, I don't live alone now, but I'm not in a relationship. But when I used to live alone, I cook. I don't like to cook for one person. So there was this program, I forgot the name of it, but where they delivered me like foods and snacks.
I remember you were doing that.
Yeah, and I lost a nice amount of weight, but I saw what the portion control was, and it wasn't like horrible. It was good food, and it was the what you're saying. It's real food. And I liked it because they had snacks, and the snacks were good snacks. But like, what are considered good? Because I'm a snacker. Okay, I will eat pretty well, but then after a certain time, I kind of want a snack. So, like, what are healthy snacks?
Low carb vegetables, healthy fats. Have you heard of a fat bomb?
No.
So it's like
What's that?
almond butter.
You know what it
with
sounds like?
coconut.
Lush. That store
yeah.
Lush.
Fat bomb.
A fat bomb. A bath bomb.
Yeah.
Poof.
It's just healthy fats, like peanut butter and coconut and
On
chocolate.
celery or something like that.
On celery, I do
like
a lot
that.
of almond butter and celery. That's my kind of go-to
I like
snack.
that.
Coconut on chocolate. That sounds good.
So-
Why do you get rid of the oils first in those first 40 days?
Yeah,
because
because-
you're talking about having them again. So
Because we want to get you into autophagy, which is self-eating, and it's the body's way of going in and cleaning up cancer cells, diseased tissue. It's spring cleaning of the body, and it's what happens normally when we fast, but nobody fasts anymore, other than maybe religions. I mean, that's one of the things that most religions have in common. So we do the 40 days because it's just an amazing kickstart, and we want to heal the body at a cellular level. And that's the best way to heal the body at a cellular level, is to get into fat burning, clean out the cells, decrease inflammation, and increase those hormone receptor sensitivities again.
So how does it heal the cancer cells? Does it heal it, eliminate it, or how does that work?
So self-eating autophagy is a process that was discovered in 2016 by a scientist who won the Nobel Prize in Medicine on it. And they've discovered that when you're not eating, or when you're fasting mimicking, which is what we do by taking the oils and fats out, it's like little Pac-Man in the body. You know, macrophages in different parts of the immune system will go in because when you're eating, that's all the body can do is digest the food.
Right.
So
Too
when
busy.
you stop eating, the body's like, oh, there's some precancer cells over here. I'm going to eat those up. It can go in and prioritize, and it'll get rid of scar tissue. I've had chiropractic friends that have done like 20-day water fasts. Skin tags fall off. Fatty livers go away. The body can absolutely heal itself. It's one of my favorite words, innate intelligence. We have innate intelligence. We're alive. We're breathing. There's an intelligence in us. The same amazing universal power that makes a rose made our bodies. But we don't know.
I don't know. Sometimes fasting, I'm sorry to interrupt
No,
you,
it's okay.
CJ. Sometimes the idea of fasting, especially these water fasts that you're talking about, sounds extremely dangerous.
It's not
to
if
do
you're
that.
guided and if you do the electrolytes properly. So most of my clients, when they first come in, they're like, I would never do a water fast. And I don't make people do water fasts. That's why we do the fasting mimicking, because people can wrap their head around that. They get to eat lunch and dinner and unlimited vegetables from their low-carb list, 2 different proteins, 2 different fruits. But by the time they get their body cleaned out and their fat burning and they're healthy and their brains turned on again, they come to me 6 months later. All right, I'm ready for a water fast.
Give me the water.
I'm like, really? They're like, yes.
Like, how many days is this water fast?
So I take people through, I teach them how to do 24-hour fasts, 36-hour, 48. Different things happen in the body at each hour mark. And I've personally gone all the way to 13 days.
With just water?
With just water and electrolytes.
Right, because you have to
So-
replace that. But
Yes.
the thing is, it's like, okay, you know, now COVID, maybe this program one can do at home because a lot of people are still working from home. But then when you go back to the workplace, how do you, when people are going out to lunch or people are eating and you smell that, like how do you?
Yeah, I go out all the time.
But I'm talking when you're on that water fast thing.
Well, then you're not going to go out to lunch, or if you go out to lunch, you're just going to have some water that day.
Oy.
Okay, so question for you. People that have low...
Today I'll do
That
water
was a
with
silly
lime.
question.
Or, excuse me, I'm going to break it up. Let's splurge with some cucumber. I mean, really.
Yeah. So people with low blood sugar,
Mm-hmm.
how can they fast?
Because when you're fasting, within the first 48 hours, your body starts using fat for fuel, and your blood sugar is the most stable and most balanced that it's ever been.
So if someone's fasting, that means they probably can't do a workout, right?
You can, but you don't want to push the body physically a lot during a fast. There's this magic thing that happens on day 4. You get a spike in stem cells, which most adults don't have any of, and a spike in growth hormone, which is the youth hormone. And on day 4, most people go out and they can run 10 miles. It's
I felt that when I once did a fruit fast, I think, for a few days.
You get that burst.
Oh my God, it was amazing.
Yeah.
So, I hear a lot about what you're saying about fasting and food. How much does exercise play in your program?
Not very much.
Oh, that's the one for me.
I primarily do barefooted grounding on the grass with some one-legged poses. I don't do weights. Exercise is healthy, but you can't exercise your way to clean healthy cells and exercise your way out of insulin resistance. It's food and how you eat and when you eat and how much you eat. That's what's going to heal the body. Diabetes and heart disease, these are diet-related diseases. They're not lack of exercise-related diseases. It's about 5%, in my opinion, of overall health. 95% is food, 5% is exercise.
When I don't eat for hours, I notice my hands start going like that. I get so shaky. What is going on? Is that about my glucose dropping? What is that?
You're a sugar burner. So your body can only use sugar for fuel, and you're not metabolically flexible enough, and your cells aren't healthy enough to go to the fat. Because even if you're thin, I'm 20-25% body fat. I'm 150 pounds, so I have 20 to 30 pounds of fat on my body. There's a certain amount of fat that you want to have for organ, cushioning and just overall warmth, and females especially. Even if you're thin, as long as you can burn fat for fuel and you're healthy enough and metabolically flexible enough to do that, if you're not eating, your body will just go after 1/8 of a pound, 1/4 of a pound of fat, and your blood sugar will stay nice and level. If you're shaky, you are not a good fat burner. And I grew up hypoglycemic my entire childhood, addicted to sugar, hypoglycemic. I was a basketball player in college. My mom used to have to bring me juice or candy bars at halftime or I would pass out. So when I went through this program, I cleaned out my body. I trained my body how to burn fat for fuel. And now I can pretty much eat whatever I want. You know, I can drink, I can splurge, I can do wine, I can do sushi.
Okay, I have a question. So when I lose weight, okay, I lose from the waist up. My stomach gets flat, my boobs get smaller, my face gets really thin, my arms get thin. I think it's so sexy when women's collarbones are show. But so like at what point, you know, because I don't want to have a curvy body and then end up with a pear-shaped body, you know? So like with your program, I mean, like, does it go all over the place? You know what I mean? So is it like, if I'm losing, do I lose everywhere? Will I always have a big butt? Will I always have big thighs? Will I always have that little poochie in front? Or, you know,
I don't know. Show us, sweetheart. Show us.
you know,
I like big butts and I cannot lie.
yeah, butts again.
Why don't you stand up and turn around so you can see it?
Everybody knows me and they know my body, and for 50 fucking 8, it ain't bad.
You know what? I'm going to answer. I'm going to answer because I'm sure I'm sure you would agree. Isn't it just that we're all different?
But but when you lose it and it's taking care of the whole body, like, shouldn't it just all like eventually melt and then settle, and you still have my curvy body, but it's not as big?
When you're losing it the right way, the healthy way, and your water's going up, that's the big difference, and your metabolism's getting faster and younger, your body will know where to take the fat out. It'll go after the unhealthy fat, the visceral fat, the fat around your organs, the fat in your arteries. The fat, the structural fat that makes you look young, it'll keep that fat. When you're starving yourself with Weight Watchers or any of those diets, that's when people look gaunt and they don't look healthy, and you know, they lose weight in the wrong places because it's not a healthy hormone-based way of life. You're just starving yourself.
So do you let people have carbs on your first 40 days?
No, other than low-carb vegetables. So it's unlimited low-carb vegetables, celery, green beans, Brussels sprouts.
I would be such a bitch. I would be so ashamed. I didn't want to imagine how I would be without even being able to have any carbs and just lean proteins and veggies.
That means you're a carb junkie.
I wish
I wouldn't be able to handle
I
that.
would love to do this program and have someone cook for and like make it for me, because if it's like it's made for me, I mean, I'm a little bit of a princess. If it's made for me, then I will eat it, because that means I don't have to make it. That's why that whole program, which it's actually a pretty good program, that's why it worked for me, because it was prepared. I knew what I had to eat. I knew it was done. I just had to like heat it up, and it was easy for me to follow that program because it was just already prepared.
But is it sustainable?
Well, I mean, look, I think, I mean, I lost whatever I wanted to lose, and I kept it off, and then I'm like, oh, fuck it, you know what I mean? I still fit in the same size, so you know, it didn't make such a big difference. It was the size that I'm in that was maybe in the middle, you know what I mean? Like I fit it normally, but then with that 10, 12 pound loss, it was a little looser, but it's still the same size. And that's what I'm saying. Like, my thighs did not move. My boobs went down, which was the first time in a very long time. And my face was like, I always get that hollowed look, you know?
Do you ever stick with the plan long enough, Gaye Ann, to, like, for me, when I first started losing weight, it always shows first in my face, and then it will slowly make its way down. But I don't see my thighs reducing and my butt and all that at least until 6 to 9 months, and then I can see it majorly look different. I just wonder, are you doing it for that long?
I've done it. I mean, the size that I am now, I have been for over 15 years. So I am still conscious of what I eat. And I mean, I'd go on scales every once in a while just to mind fuck myself. But other than that, because I hate scales too, because then again, that's a number. And there are people that are a certain weight, but they look good. It's like, it's like, whatever they are, you go, they look fine. And then they'll say, I'm 180 pounds. And you're like, you don't look like you're 180 pounds, but they carry it well, or their tone. So that's why, like, I'll step on it every once in a while. Just, well, did I lose some weight just to see? Mm-hmm. But I don't want to go on the scale every day, because then again, that's like a diet. You get crazy. And I have issues with weight. You know, I've got a little psychological issue with it. I've always thought I was fat. You know, I thought I was a fat from when I was a freaking kid, and we discussed it. And I look at pictures of me when I was a kid, and I was not fat, but I was with kids in my class that were anorexic looking. So, of course, I'm going to feel and look fat and be bullied or joked about because I'm not that beanpole. So very early on, I was very conscious. And even now, you know, it's like, you know, I will say to a friend of mine, you know, do I look fat? Do I look fat? Do I look fat? And it's psychological because it was from that. And it's like I even said to CJ, you know, the body I wish I had is kind of like that boy body. Minimal of a butt, no hips. That's what I want. And I actually, again, got down to a size 4. Thinking that suddenly my curvy body would suddenly morph into that with the more weight I lost. And what I ended up is a skinny, size 4, curvy body with not as much curves. And I looked like shit because I looked at photos of myself as well now, and I don't even look like myself. I just looked unhealthy. Just saying.
So how long do you keep them in keto?
It depends on the person and what's going on with them, what conditions they have, and how much healing needs to happen. But definitely for 40, and then we bring in healthy fats, but we still like to keep in more keto during the next 4 weeks. And once they're in their 20s or 30s metabolically, which for some people that could be in 40 days, and for other people it could be 12 months. We still want to always throw in some high carb days. I like to call it a 5-1-1. So it's that.
Do you eat pasta on those days?
Um,
I'm Italian. Come on.
Maura, which carb do you want? Ask now.
I do pasta. I'm a pasta carb. And, you
I
know.
lost all my weight. The only carb I was having was a little bit of brown rice.
yeah, so
That sounds delish.
But like everything else was keto. Everything else was very,
Yeah.
like leans and boring. It was pretty boring because it was so clean.
But were you doing like avocados and macadamia
Yeah.
nuts?
So how do you know that your metabolism is in your 20s and 30s? How do you test that?
So I use a body composition analysis scale using bioimpedance, which
Okay.
sends a small current through. And there's a lot of different companies that make it. I like Tanita. They're the largest producer of body comps in the world. And they make the scales for Weight Watchers and different companies like that. But they'll go through and it'll look at about 15 different biomarkers. Body fat percentage, water, visceral fat, bone, lean muscle, body fat mass, like how many pounds of body fat you have. And from all of those numbers, and based on kind of the average person at that age and that gender, it's going to give you your metabolic age. And as you go through the program and your body's getting healthier and you're getting more hydrated, because most people should be at least 50% water. But most of my clients that I start off on the program, they're 30, 40% water.
Oh, that's a good one to know.
Yeah, and they're just very dehydrated. And it's not necessarily about drinking a lot of water, but high quality water with minerals.
Like, what's your favorite water? Like store bought water?
I don't buy store-bought
Okay,
water.
so what do you drink?
So I have a purification system in my home that goes through reverse osmosis.
That's what I have. Collagen reverse osmosis. That's
and
sort
then,
of what we're
and
talking
then
about.
they add minerals at the end, so it's alkaline. It's distilled reverse osmosis,
Is
like
it
6 stages of
Kagan?
purification. It's not Kangen. Kangen, I used to have that, but they waste part of the water when they split it to create those 2 different pHs. So this produces the same alkaline water as Kangen, but more of what you would see naturally in nature with spring water. Like spring water is going through a creek and it's picking up rocks and debris from the creek, and it's filled with minerals. It's more alkaline. So all the blue zones across the world, they all have that similarity, and they're living the longest with that high alkaline spring water. So I've mimicked that in my home with a unit that I use, and I advocate people using something similar to that.
So, like your program, like you said, you have, sauces and all this other stuff. So, once one signs up, it's a year program, correct?
Yes.
So after the year, if people want to maintain, but they don't want to buy your product. Are there other things that you tell people, like you can go to a Whole Foods, a Sprouts, or another health that
So
you
the
can get?
most of the products we carry is just for that 40-day cleanse.
Okay.
So after going through the 12 months, most of what you're doing is you're buying foods at a grocery store. I mean,
Okay.
the cleaner and the more organic, of course, the better. But you don't have to stay on products. By the end of the 12 months, you're in your 20s or 30s metabolically. You've figured out how to variate your diet, how to do high carb days to keep your hormones so you don't have these major cravings. But most of the time, yes, it's healthy to be intermittent fasting and be in ketosis.
Now, do you do the shake thing ever?
I do some powdered shakes, but mostly plant-based, food-based. I don't like a lot of the protein powders.
Do you do the collagen stuff?
Yes.
Do you do
Especially
like
for women as we get older. When the estrogen goes down, we lose a lot of collagen, so you want to be taking collagen in every day.
now? Collagen is like from an animal, right?
Not all of collagen. Some collagen's from...
Like there's a vegan, because I
Yeah.
won't do the collagen thing because I don't want to do that. You know what I mean? It's like, I think it's not a cow, but a bovine, or some shit
it's
like that.
The cartilage and part of the bone.
Yeah, I don't. I'm a visual person.
Yeah.
I think where it comes from, and that's why I'm surprised I actually eat meat, because I visualize. But then it sometimes tastes so good, so I'm like, okay, whatever. But so I won't do the collagen. So you say there's like vegan or some sort of non-stuff.
I think there is. I have all different collagens that I use. I'm all about, I don't ever stay on the same products or nutrients. You always want to be putting different things into your body. Different organ supports, different companies, you never want to be on, like if you ask most Americans, they're taking a probiotic and a fish oil and a multiple. And the same 3 of those products for the last, 15 years. It's horrible. You want to switch it up. You want to eat most of your probiotics with fermented foods instead of a bunch of pills, and you want to switch things up and put different brands and different vegetables and
But if you
different
had to
foods.
take pills, let's say you can't cook, or what you're trying, right?
Yeah.
What are the top vitamins and minerals that someone should be taking?
I like anything that's whole food, concentrated food, and herb based.
Like, but what kind? Like A, D, F, G, K, all this
what
shit?
brands?
Not brands, but
Oh.
like the type. Like, should we be taking as women calcium? Should we be taking magnesium? Should we be taking, vitamin D, E, C, all those other ones, like B12s or Bs or whatever?
So I mean, it's kind of a loaded question. Everybody's different, and I don't really particularly care for one vitamin or synthetic. I like whole food based nutrients that are a bunch of different foods that are really high in vitamin C, E, A, and K.
But they
and
have
zinc.
some vitamins, like that they're whole food. They're not made. They have whatever like vegetables or whatever it is that vitamin. That's what they compound it in. I mean, if someone can't, are you a proponent of that could work as well, or you're still not so much?
I think that nowadays, even if you're eating fruits and vegetables and healthy foods, the soils are so depleted that it's almost impossible to stay healthy without taking concentrated foods and herb supplements. It's almost impossible. For instance, the United States government in 1950 did a study with a bowl of spinach looking at how much iron was in one bowl of spinach. 1999 did the same study. Guess how many bowls of spinach you had to eat? 1999, which was however many years ago.
She was in
years
5th
ago,
grade.
too.
Mara was in 5th
She
grade.
probably wasn't even born yet.
I wasn't.
You were 3.
Wow, okay.
how
I'm
many
gonna
bowls?
guess 8.
Keep going.
15.
12.
18.
Eight.
Whoa.
Wait, so
30.
so wait a minute.
Spinach.
So
One.
now it's probably about 30.
So wait, one bowl of spinach
From
when?
1950.
1950.
Because we rotated our crops and we didn't have
Right.
GMOs and we didn't have all these pesticides and Monsanto and all of this crap. And it wasn't all about money. It was about healthy food that people ate in their
So
hometown.
almost
Right.
50 years later,
18,
18
bowls.
bowls.
So you really,
Unbelievable.
yeah. So you have to take in
I'll take the pill.
concentrated foods and herbs to get the nutrients. So I like
Gosh.
food-based, but concentrated foods that were growing out of the ground at one time. I don't like synthetics necessarily.
So do you, like, when you shop, do you shop at like farmers markets mostly? Do you grow your own stuff? Do you do Whole Foods, Sprouts? I mean, where do you shop?
Grocery outlet,
Seriously? I love that place.
Costco, Sprouts.
All lesbians love grocery outlets.
Grocery outlet
Yeah.
has a
Notice
lot of
that?
organic because they have, the same coconut oil at Sprouts that's $20 at Grocery Outlet. The same brand is $10. Same
Okay,
brand.
See? Good shoppers.
Huh.
No, they don't have a lot of. They have a lot of unhealthy food at Grocery Outlet.
Yes, they do.
But
Yeah.
they've got a whole aisle of organics, things that I buy at Whole Foods or Mother's or Sprouts, and it's like half the price.
Right.
Organic cacao nibs.
And what would you do?
lilies.
And
Nobody,
what the
nobody
hell?
said a thing after that.
No, I was formulating going, and what do you use them for?
They're
You shove them up your ass.
They're
Shove
del-
them up your ass, darling.
they're delicious with like whole fat yogurt.
Okay.
Maybe some frozen blueberries and just mixing them up. Or you can throw them
What,
in your.
what do you think about coffee? Is that
I was just
something
going to
that-
talk about my coffee.
Yes.
So I have what's called Dr. CJ's Cup of Joe, and it's kind of my form of bulletproof. So I do organic coffee. I brew the coffee, and then I throw coconut oil in there, some organic ghee, maybe some organic cacao, some salt that we use in my program. It's pink salt, but it's not pink Himalayan. It's much better than that. And then maybe some cinnamon, and I blend it all up, and it's amazing.
In a coffee cup.
I put it in my Vitamix. So I brew the
Okay,
coffee.
brew it.
I put some coffee in my blender.
How do you brew the coffee, though? Is it a cold drip? I mean, is it a drip? Or
It's
is
just
it
a regular.
All right, just checking. Maybe
yeah.
it was some fancy smancy shit.
Well, it does grind the beans.
Oh, that's very nice.
right before it brews it.
Brayville?
No,
Oh,
it's I
okay.
don't know. It's like it's like a Black and Decker.
Oh, okay.
Thing.
So you brew the coffee, then you throw all the. Now you brought up bulletproof, right? Well, first of all, do you put any cream in it?
yeah.
Any-
So I use like organic half and half or organic heavy cream
Yes.
or like an almond coconut milk. I mix things.
What about
up all
oat
the time.
milk?
Oat milk's good.
Love oat milk.
I love oat
Yeah,
milk
oat
too.
milk's good.
I've got a problem with it. I can't. It makes me go very strange in the belly.
Really?
Yeah, I can't. And it's delicious.
I love oat
Really? I
milk.
like
Doesn't like
vanilla
it.
I love it.
vanilla rice milk. I love it more than oat milk.
Eh.
Yeah,
It's kind of watery.
a little bit.
Isn't cinnamon a magic thing?
Yeah, cinnamon
Yeah,
keeps your blood
I've
sugar
gone through
really
big
level.
phases in my life, I'm in one now where I'm totally off sugar, and you put a little cinnamon in something, and it tastes like you've put sweetener in it.
It's
Really?
amazing.
I think that is the most magic thing. Yeah, I drink tea. I'm off caffeine now too. 6 years
Wow.
over 6 years now. But
Wow.
when I don't do sugar, I'll steep like an apple cinnamon tea, something herbal,
Mhm.
and then put a little organic cream in, and then you put a little cinnamon in, and it tastes like you have sugar in it.
I'm gonna try that, Sheena.
Cinnamon's
It works
amazing.
great.
Cinnamon on apples.
Cinnamon on
Ooh,
anything.
Yes, that's nice.
Cinnamon on.
Cinnamon's amazing.
It's I love and then if I like the the pumpkin spice because it's cinnamon, nutmeg, and whatever else all spice.
Mhm.
Right. Yeah.
I love
Clove.
clove. I love that because it's more complex.
So cinnamon actually keeps your blood sugar very level. So it's really good if you're not doing sugar, or diabetics or hypoglycemics, or if you just
How
want to
about-
control your cravings.
Chopped mint on pineapple. It's delicious. Is it allowed?
Right.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
So, chopped mint on pineapple.
Seriously,
I've
really
never
is
heard
good.
of that in my life. You know
Yeah,
what?
it's
I've
really
had
good.
I've had chopped mint on watermelon.
Ooh, see, same.
That's I like chopped mint on. I like.
CJ, what is your thought on whey protein and protein powders?
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of protein powders, and I used to do a lot of whey, and I just from my own body, I get tired when I
Or plant protein powder?
I like more the pea protein is what I
Okay.
what I favor. and
I
think
see
is
that in the
better for most
market
people.
now. Like they have it in the milk section, pea protein. Now, for example, like I have Hashimoto, so that's thyroid. So I take a Synthroid. So
Me
wi-
too.
with your program, like is that something like whatever the balance and stuff is? Could that be? Because I've heard people getting off of thyroid medication.
I've had lots of clients get off of thyroid medication. I have one of my health coaches. When I met her 6 years ago as a client originally, she had been on Synthroid for 26 years. And she was completely off the thyroid medication the first 40-day program.
Because my doctor thinks I'm weird because I started out with like 88 and I was on 88 for a while. And then all of a sudden, then I was getting the shakes. So,
Too much.
right. So then I'm like 75 and he's like, so I have to go back again. But he said it usually doesn't work that way. It's like, he said like someone with my weight should be at 88 and he doesn't understand why I'm at 75. And I'm like, oh, I don't really care. As long as it goes lower, maybe it will one day disappear.
See, most thyroid issues, it's not that the thyroid's low. It's that the receptors aren't hearing the thyroid hormone, and you're not making the energy in the cell because the receptors aren't working.
You know, and it sucks because I wanted if I was going to have thyroid, I wanted the other one. The one that
The
makes you
Graves?
skinny.
But then your eyes just
your
bulge out.
eyes-
Oh, is that the bulgy eye one?
Yeah,
Oh,
not
no. Change my
You
mind.
don't want that.
That changed my mind.
You
No,
have
like a
great
pug.
assets. Don't lose them.
You don't want your hair to fall out.
oh, is that too?
Well, yes, the whole thyroid thing. I mean, many women have a thyroid
It's-
problem.
Why do you
It's-
think?
it's-
Why do you think? Because a lot of guys don't have thyroid. There are certain illnesses, but there are certain illnesses that affect women more than men, and thyroid is pretty high. So, like, why do you think some illnesses or some things symptom are more or more like? Why do women
Well,
get
because
Women
screwed?
have all the issues.
Yeah,
because
It's
why
always
do we?
women.
Because of hormones?
Well, because of the entire endocrine system. So guys don't have ovaries and uteruses, and that's just completely different. So we have this whole endocrine system that they don't have. So we have pituitary, hypothalamus, the thyroid, and it works in conjunction with your adrenals and your ovaries and your uterus, and you have this feedback loop mechanism system. And guys just don't. They have an endocrine system, but it's just very different, and they're just not as dependent on hormones.
Now, have you heard of a way not to go in and have surgery that fibroids, uterine fibroids shrink? Or you never heard of that?
Absolutely. So anything that's going wrong in the body, something's out of whack.
You notice I'm going down my checklist. But
I
go ahead.
guess so. So usually
we have
that's-
noticed.
those are hormones out of balance.
time.
So, PCOS and cysts and fibroids, those are all, the hormones are out of whack. So we need to get the hormones balanced, and eating like this and cleaning your body out like this does balance your hormones and takes care of a lot of those things.
Now, somebody sent me something the other day, a text, a friend. He said, I'm passing this on because I've been told to pass it to all my women friends, that when you have a mammogram, if you have mammograms, I don't care for them, but I now and again do have to have one. You're supposed
Let's not
to.
talk about that.
Yeah, I know we shouldn't. I know. But the other thing he said, this thing was about ask them for the thyroid guard. And
What?
apparently they go to a drawer and they bring it out, this person who sent this message said, well, why isn't that always put on, this thyroid guards? And they said, oh, well, you have to ask for it. Well, if you don't know that you could that it's possibly damaged because of these mammograms.
Wait, I
Oh,
just had
wow.
I had a second mammogram, just not to get too personal. It was painful. I don't like those.
Oh.
But what would the thyroid thing have done?
Well,
It
it would
would-
have just stopped the
It
Radiation.
would have protected it from the radiation. So
Oh,
mammograms are.
no one offered me that.
Yeah, no one offered me
No,
that.
they don't offer it, apparently. You have to ask for it. Do you know what? Fuck them.
I know.
That's what.
Men get everything, and they don't care about women.
Yeah.
Anyway,
So what do you think of mammograms?
I don't like them,
I bet you don't. Nor do
and
I.
I've never had one.
ever?
Ever.
Ever. I do
No,
thermography
who's never
instead.
had one?
I've
Oh,
never had,
CJ?
and my mom had breast cancer, and she's no
Well,
longer.
how do you figure out what's going on inside then if you don't?
So mammograms take up to 10 years before anything ever shows up. If you do ultrasound or thermography, you can see things happening way before it would ever show up on a mammogram.
Oh, yeah,
Mammograms radiate your body, cause cancer, and not to mention the mechanical stress of the mammograms. They're very, very dangerous, and they're not needed.
Okay, so I have a question. So my friend, she recently had a mammogram, and they found a very small lump, which I'm glad. And it was cancer, and they did the surgery thing. I mean, where they took out the
Biopsy?
lumpectomy,
Lumpectomy.
and then I guess it has like a lymph node attached to it. Okay, and so they took it out, and she went through. She was on these hormone pill things, hormone
Blockers,
blockers,
hormone blockers.
and she had to get off of them because she just couldn't take them, and she went through that radiation. And now it's finally getting back to normal. Like it just looks like burned. She looked like a burned victim.
Yeah,
So, so I'm thinking, that was where a mammogram helped.
but we
Now-
would have seen that 10 years prior
Oh, she
with
didn't.
non-invasive testing because we're not doing it.
But the
because there's
thermo-
big money in mammograms.
But the thermo thing, okay.
would have shown it.
But I think, if I'm not mistaken, and I could be wrong, but I did ask for that thermo thing, and my insurance did not cover it.
No, they don't cover it.
My
Yeah,
insurance covers the mammogram, but it doesn't cover the thermo thing.
What's the thermo
Why?
thing?
Oh, is that ultrasound?
No, yeah.
What is thermo?
What's
Explain
thermal
what the-
versus the ultrasound?
So thermography is very intricate, sensitive camera that will actually measure heat on your
Right,
entire
for
body.
heat.
And so if there's any heat, that's abnormal tissue. So you can do just the breasts or you can do the whole body, and you can see, infected teeth. You could see a knee that's inflamed. It'll show up as colors. And it's red. It's actually red when it's hotter. So you can get a baseline thermography, and then they do one 3 months later. There you go. That's a thermography. So the red is
Nice one.
hotter, and then the cooler colors are
you.
like the purple and the blue.
So that red thing, all those red, is that means that there's a problem in all those red
Well,
areas?
they have trained radiologists that read those, and you'd get a baseline, and then you do one 3 months later, and then a year after that, and you can always see changes happening way before they would ever show up on a mammogram.
You know what?
Wow.
I think that's pretty cool because they offer the full body thermography.
Oh, look at that.
thermographies.
That it is right
yeah,
there.
and you can do. It's like $200 for cash. They have
Where
breast,
at?
They have natural breast centers. You can do.
Oh, they do?
There's a lot of chiropractors that do thermography
Oh, I did
or
not know that.
naturopaths.
Do you
There's
do
an
that?
Orange County. I don't. There's an Orange County breast wellness center that specializes
But
in
isn't it it's kind of cool that you can notice these things in advance, but
way early.
it's kind of scary too.
No.
I mean, it's kind of like, well, I mean, I think it's great, okay, but it is kind of scary because it's kind of like you don't know, but then you know, and then I'm a Capricorn, and I'm a thinker, and I'm an overthinker, and then of course I will think everything is cancer
You're a
because
Capricorn. That explains a lot.
Wait, what
now
sign? What sign
I
are you?
understand.
What sign are you?
Scorpio.
I'm an Aries.
I told you I'm screwed. Capricorn, Leo, rising, Moon, and Gemini. Yeah, exactly.
You're the only
Whoa.
Capricorn I'm liking right now, by the way. Just
Okay,
saying.
thank you. Okay.
I'll tell you a strange thing had happened to me when I had my last mammogram, and it was a while ago, and this is why. So I had never had anything negative in a mammogram, always completely clean. And I had one, didn't even give a second thought to it. And then the hospital called, and it was the breast cancer specialty department. So I started having a complete freak out. And I call my doctor's office and I say, is something wrong with my mammogram? I got a call from this woman from the hospital. And the office manager checked and she's like, nope, completely clean. If there was a problem, we would have called you. So then this woman starts calling the doctor's office. So finally I call her. And she basically, how they give you that little iPad and you have to like fill out the things.
Yep.
She says, based on the things you told us, you've hit enough markers that we've called you. So basically, I was on birth control for many years to fix reproductive problems, and I'm fat. Those were the two markers. She said, we need you to come in and take some tests. And if you have certain markers, then we would suggest that you get a preventative mastectomy. And if you don't want to do that, then we're looking at maybe you would like to have preventative chemo.
Holy.
And I said to the woman, wait a minute, is there anything
In
going
between?
on in the mammogram
Oh my
that makes you
gosh.
think that? And she said, oh no, but you know what? Mammograms aren't really foolproof. You could still have something. So talk about overthinking and a freak out.
Wow.
And it just seemed to me so like, really? I mean, honestly, I could get hit by a bus tomorrow. I mean,
Yeah.
if we're going to go into all the what ifs, is it really a good idea to be giving people with clean mammograms chemotherapy
Oh my gosh.
God, no.
because
Wow.
they hit a couple markers
Oh my
on a
God.
thing? I mean,
That's
it's
terrifying.
But I think
It
that
is.
we've gotten to that place, and that made me very suspicious of mammograms
Mm.
because it made me think that it was kind of a, I don't know.
It's a
racket?
cash
I had
cow.
no idea what I thought.
You know
But that
what?
was- I haven't had one in years, and that's why. And every time I see the doctor, he's always like, "Don't forget to get your mammo."
I know. I always go, oh, yes, of course.
Now the thing is with
And I don't like the radiation. And the truth is, that was the most recent time I had one. The first time I had one, the electricity went out in the hospital while I was stuck in the middle of the thing. It was like having your breast stuck in a waffle
Oh
iron.
my
my
God.
God.
I will
No.
never have one again
Look,
with that
I'm going
thought.
to tell you, if you have small breasts, I hear it hurts.
It
Obviously-
hurts.
Obviously, I do not know. But when you are large breasted as well, I
Yeah.
mean, it hurts too. I mean, it's just like,
Mhm.
like shit.
Oh, I hated it. And she, you know what she was doing? She was putting her foot on the thing that lowers it, and
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
so she's controlling with her foot. At one point, I'm glad she took her foot off and just used this thing.
The hand
It was
crank?
a lot less scary.
The hand
Yeah,
crank?
It was a lot less scary than just some thing. And she's like, now hold it there.
Hold your breath.
And then she took a phone call, and you know, she was going on about the latest
Oh.
episode of Desperate Housewives.
Hold on. I have to interrupt right now. I have to interrupt right now. We have Tony sitting at his computer. His face is just priceless. I wish there was a camera on him. It was
Imagine
just-
if someone did that to your balls, and we
Yes.
have to do that every year.
Oh, no, he likes that.
every
Well, you don't
You
have
don't
to.
have to.
You don't have to. No, no,
Can we talk about that?
Can we?
We're looking at Western medicine
Right.
and we're calling it health care, and it's not health care, it's
No.
disease care. And we're not looking at what's causing the problems in the first place. So it's two completely separate paradigms.
So, what do you feel about Pap smears?
I think those are valuable.
You think they're okay?
Yeah, they're not radiating you
No.
when you're looking for abnormal cells. I think those are great.
Hope not.
Yeah, I hope not. Who knows what's happening
CJ,
down
you
there?
don't use the microwave, right, CJ?
I do not
No
use a
microwave.
microwave. Nope, gone.
How do
Okay.
you heat up your food?
On
On
the
the
stove.
stove.
On the stove. What?
What a concept.
What about a toaster oven?
Nope.
Are toaster
Yeah,
ovens
microwave
bad too?
sounds
No,
a
they're
little
not
weird,
bad.
doesn't it? Because you're putting these chemicals, like chemicals, are zapping the food and making it warmer. I mean,
Yeah.
The
it's kinda
concept
weird.
is bizarre. It's just weird. Let's see. What I was going to ask you.
Toaster ovens are fine. I just don't have one.
I have a toaster oven and an air
That's fine.
fryer that I can warm up.
Air
food.
air
perfect.
fryers are okay, right?
Air
Oh,
fryer's
absolutely.
amazing.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I
wanna get an
love
air
my
fryer.
air fryer. Oh, get
Yeah.
the air fryer. I'm in
Wait
love
for the
with it.
lightning deal on Amazon.
They are
And I want to get the air popper.
Oh no, I got something. Oh no, that's a microwave. Never
Well,
mind.
we don't want to be eating corn. It's one of the worst things you can put in your
Oh,
body.
is it?
Pop-
I like popcorn.
Popcorn.
even if it's organic.
So let's talk about that real quick. The worst thing to
Yes.
put in your body: canola oil, corn oil, palm oil.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Vegetable oil is terrible.
Okay.
Corn and soy. You cannot find corn and soy unless it's
So
organic.
no
That's
soy
not
milk or any of
GMO.
that stuff.
No, I don't use soy milk. but
Almost all
popcorn
soy
isn't a
and
good
corn.
snack?
No, because corn's not a healthy food unless it's organic.
Yeah, organic from Sprouts.
Well, it's still not the best food. It's just not a healthy food.
It's
Like-
not the corn of our childhood. Actually, it's probably the corn of Roxanne's childhood and maybe Mara's.
That's right.
So we're not talking about Jiffy here. We're not talking about Jiffy Pop. You know, we're talking about organic. You know,
But you're
whole
saying
foods.
it's just generally a bit like cows aren't supposed to eat it either, right?
Yeah.
They feed it to cows and it's not good for them.
Yeah.
It's not good. I think what you're saying.
just
is
not
it's
a
not
healthy
good
food for
generally
our body.
for us
Okay.
as humans.
Yeah.
Huh. But what do you put on popcorn? Butter.
Well, no.
Not
So
butter's
I
good-
I
butter's
get
good.
coconut.
Butter's
Olive
healthy.
oil, a spray of olive oil.
The Dr. Bonner, is it Bonner or something?
Mhm.
I have a popcorn machine at home, and
Air
so-
popper.
No, it's an actual popcorn
Okay.
machine. I put 2 tablespoons of the Dr.
coconut
Bonner's
oil?
coconut oil,
Mhm.
and then my popcorn, and that's
Yummy.
it. I
And some
sprinkle
pink
a little
salt.
little bit of salt, the
Yeah.
salt on top,
I
and
mean,
that's it.
everything's good in moderation and balance. Everything's good in balance, but you don't want to be eating that every single night.
Unless it's dinner.
Cook me dinner.
Look, I have salmon. I got to tell you, I cook salmon twice a week.
Yeah, no, salmon's great, but not during the
but-
first 40 days.
What?
Salmon's,
Right,
I eat
right.
salmon all the time now.
Okay, like what's the difference between like fish that I don't like? I mean, I'll eat the white fish. That's okay. And like shellfish, like crab, lobster, shrimp. That's not good fish, right?
It's not the best because
That's
they're bottom
interesting.
dwellers and they're getting a lot of the toxins and the poisons in the water. So you want fish that are smaller. Salmon's a really good fish. Perch, bigger fish have eaten a bunch of fish and they're going to have higher levels of mercury.
What about rainbow trout?
Yeah, perfect.
What about oysters? Because I had my first ever oysters the other day.
You did
Me
your
too.
first ever?
Yeah.
Probably
Yes,
not the
I had
not the
two.
healthiest.
And I have to tell you, something very strange happened later that evening.
Look, I
I want to hear it.
Yeah, well, we all, you all
Well, you know, right there.
It's supposed to be an
Aphro-
aphrodisiac.
I
They
know,
are.
I know.
They're aphrodisiacs, so I'm assuming it was either something kinky and sexy or something not so pleasant.
I think
I'll
it
go
was
for the
kinky
first
and
one.
sexy.
Okay. No,
Yeah.
I never had one. I had my father, was from Italy, and he grew
Love
up on the
oysters.
east, the seaboard, the side of Italy that's on the Adriatic. So I grew up with a lot of fish, his raw fish, his cooked, whatever. And I was like, oh no. And I think we went out to dinner with a few friends of mine, and they ordered oysters. And they're like, try one. Now, my father used to get the big ones, This one was like a cute little one. And it's just the consistency, the slime. It's like, again, visual. But they had stuff to put on it. I like piled this oyster high with so much shit that they gave me, and then it went down perfectly fine. But then I thought, oh my God, I just ate an oyster. Oh God, that's disgusting.
That's funny because a lot of lesbians really like oysters.
Really?
I love
I
oysters.
haven't met anybody.
You do?
I don't have to say exactly what happened, but I think you can all guess. Even Tony would guess.
I so want to hear the story. Just saying.
I also want to ask about sushi because I absolutely love raw fish. What do you think of that, CJ? Is that
I love that. I love sushi as well. I just think you should be doing a parasitic treatment or protocol periodically because you're going to get parasites from raw
Oh wait,
fish.
what do you mean? What is the
I don't eat.
parasitic
I don't eat
treatment?
sushi. I'm good.
There's different like black walnut hull and cloves. There's different herbs that'll kill the parasites. And if you eat a lot of the wasabi and the ginger with the sushi, those are natural anti-parasitics as well.
Oh, that's clever.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Well, maybe that's why they serve it.
It's so
Yeah, that
salty. It feels really salty. I mean, it could be because I don't do well with rice. So if I were to do it as sashimi, but I'm lucky, I guess, that I've never gotten a parasite through.
Well,
any
you
sushi
probably
place.
have.
But you don't know that you have it. That might be
True.
why you crave carbs
Oh.
and sugar.
It's not like there's a
I thought
worm.
you would know if you have a parasite.
You would not know.
Well, some parasites are pretty disgusting.
Most people have parasites.
I don't
Wow.
eat sushi. I mean, my friends go, "Let's go for sushi," and I'm sitting there,
Love it.
I'll take the vegetable
love it too.
roll, but no seaweed paper. I don't like that. I mean, it's literally I'll have
Soy paper.
soy paper. I will have vegetables. That's what I eat. I eat vegetables wrapped in rice and spend like hundreds of dollars on eating vegetables.
Oh,
It's
gosh.
amazing.
Do you just not like the taste of sushi?
I don't like fish.
Yeah, neither
It's
do I, yeah.
disgusting.
Okay.
All right. So
Gotcha.
anyway,
How do you test for parasites?
hey, we got to wrap up, sister.
Oh, is it already?
Yeah, it is already.
Oh, look at-
Last question.
Oh,
Last
yeah.
question.
How do you test? Is it the stool sample?
Stool, blood, different tests.
Oh, and blood too.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
So, CJ, guess what?
Interesting.
I told you an
So
hour and a half went
fascinating.
fast.
It did go fast. You're right.
I want to thank you for joining us. I would love for you to come back, especially when you have a hard copy of the book, and then we can
Awesome.
talk about that. What's your website?
Dr. DRCJ Pura Vida, PURAVIDA.com.
And you also on your website offer like a complimentary. Is it complimentary? Like a few minute
So my website's kind of the hub for everything. It goes to my YouTube channel and my Spotify, and I have free trainings, and it explains all the different programs. And yes, I have a free discovery call that is offered on the website as well.
And you're on Facebook and you're on Instagram.
Yes.
Okay. And what's the name of your book that people can find on Amazon?
The Diabetic Weight Loss Solution.
Very
How to
nice.
lose weight fast and reverse your diabetes.
Say it with a smile now. Sell it.
The Diabetic Weight Loss Solution. Yes, there it is.
And if you're not wearing glasses, it's diabolic.
Sign up us for that too. Everyone, I want to say thank you so much for joining us on another episode of Between the Sheets here on the United Broadcasting Network. I'm Gaye Ann Bruno. We're on the first and third Friday of every month. I have no idea. I don't think I have a guest lined up for next week, but check my Facebook page and follow me on Instagram, QTE Brat. And these shows eventually will go up on YouTube, Between the Sheets with Gaye Ann Bruno. I want to thank Sony for hosting the show, and thank you for always making it warm and fun and fuzzy and whatever. And then to the right of me,
Yes, Cara Noble, thank you very much indeed. It was lovely. It was fabulous, actually.
I had so much
really
fun.
fascinating.
you.
I'm you. Roxanne Rosen on Facebook. You can find me. Anyone interested in solar panels for their home, mention this show and they'll get a discount.
Thank you. Thank you so much. We have Sheena Metal.
I'm at SheenaMetalSpiritual.com for all your psychic and spiritual needs. Come and find me. I'm very accessible.
Ooh.
Mara Shane.
Well, I'm just gonna plug my high heels that I designed.
Yes, baby.
They're so
if
pretty.
you are looking for a stylish pair of shoes, then hit me up. Mara Shane on Facebook and marashaneart.com.
And Sheena, I'm going to be on your show. Why don't you plug that one?
Yes, Gaye Ann's going to be on my show, Raising the Vibration, this Tuesday at 5 o'clock Pacific time, and it is syndicated all over everywhere, including iHeartRadio.com, and I'm so thrilled to be a part of that family, and I'm excited to have you. I want all you girls to come visit me on my show.
Yay,
Yes.
I'll be there.
Love it. Gaye Ann, when is our next date, our show date?
Hold
When
on,
is the
please,
next-
because, I could do this on air instead of taking it off on because no one gives a shit. Our next show is Friday, April 1st.
There you go.
Okay.
And then the next one, I don't think I have a guest. I do not have a guest lined up. And then the following show is the 3rd. Will I be in town? Hold on. Oh, yeah. Yes. And the 3rd, I have no guest either. So I just I said, keep track on Instagram and Facebook, and I will find some more fascinating guests like our friend CJ here. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, CJ.
And everybody,
Thank you,
if you
guys.
learned anything from this show, it's about, let's see, I'm trying to put it all in a nutshell because there was a lot of information. It's about taking care of yourself from the inside out. And I would say, we all have horrible body images of ourselves, and that's what the media is, and that's what the media says, and they box us we women in a hole, but we're beautiful. We are beautiful no matter what shape, what color, what size. And it all starts with here. So love yourself first. That's where it starts. When you love yourself first, you will do good things for yourself. And taking care of your inside out is where we're at. So be safe, be well, and we will see you in 2 weeks. And as always, my friends, thank you for watching. Namaste.
Okay.